When you think about meditation, you probably think about this. Somebody sitting down on a yoga mat with crystals all around them, saying a mantra and trying to manifest the reality that they want to live in. Or you could probably see somebody that is in Silicon Valley, San Francisco, a very productive city, and they want to have a 5-minute scheduled meditation session before their workout, after the workout, every time, so that they're more efficient in their workplace. By the end of this video, one of the things that you're going to take away is the reason why meditation is actually important for you and how everybody has it wrong. I will show you here one of the examples that I saw in the movie The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. It's one of the best examples I've ever seen in a film that explains the essence of meditation. Here he goes.
Too many mind.
Too many mind?
Hi. Mind the soul. Mind the people what? Mind the enemy. Too many mind. No mind.
No mind.
Now that's a beautiful scene because the other samurai tells Tom Cruise, hey bro, you're completely shifting your focuses everywhere. There's too many minds, too many thoughts, too many things to focus on at the same time. What you really have to do for you to get better at fighting, by the way, I fought my first fight about a month ago, but if you want to actually get better at fighting, you want to get better at something that you're doing, your whole focus has to be in tune with it, right? So that's why he says one mind or no mind. It's what they call this concept, and the concept is called Mushin notion, a mind without a mind. Now, meditation, like I said, people think it's all of these things, but in reality it has more to do with a mind without a mind than any of these concepts that we're talking about here. All these concepts are kind of like Western, more modern approach to the aspect of meditation. If you listen to Alan Watts talking about meditation, if you listen to Jiddu Krishnamurti talking about meditation, if you listen to Mooji talking about meditation, I'll have some clips here. All these people are talking about how meditation is not something that you do to be 5x more productive in your day. It's not something that you're going to do so that you have an edge, and like Tim Grover, the book Winning, you have an edge over other people and you can actually apply it and get better. Yeah, you can use it as those kinds of things. There is physical, therapeutical, there is emotional work that goes into meditation, but that's the concept, the mind without a mind. So what's the whole point of having a mind without a mind? It's focus, it's being present, it's understanding the anatomy of your mind itself. Because once you understand the anatomy of the mind itself, then you can understand how to control it. The mind is a tool, right? But if you don't understand how this tool works, then how are you going to be able to use it more efficiently? Now, I love the concept of manifestation. I love the concept of spirituality and TikTok, all these things, why it's so trendy. Now, the thing about it that I love is that it's introducing a lot of people to inner work and self-work, and it's developing that market heavily. And I love that because I'm a marketer myself. That's what I do in my day-to-day job, right? So I understand how that market is growing. I understand that if you're talking marketing perspective, this is kind of like the top of the funnel. Like you're trying to get the most people into spirituality by talking about manifestation. Because why? It's one of the most introductory forms of spirituality that you can get into. But you just get into this mindset of just like wanting more, desiring more, trying to visualize everything that you can, which is fine. I mean, it's really good. I try to do it myself. The whole point about it though is that there's sequences to this, right? If you never understand what meditation is, you're gonna live your life unconsciously. Like for example, and I'll give you this example. For you to go into manifestation meditation, you actually have to visualize yourself as a certain persona. And a persona, according to the Greeks, per comes from the word through, and persona comes from the word voice. So it's like through the voice or through the mask. People talk about it like that when they're talking about the etymology of persona, because the Greeks used to use a mask on their plays, and that mask would be a character. And so that character itself, they would call it a persona. The mask itself would be a persona. That's why we use the word now. So for you to go into manifestation meditations, you have to build a persona. Who do I want to be? What's the goal that I need to attract? Because if I think about my goal, the goal that I need to attract, I actually have to become a certain person to get to that goal, right? And so being that person, like taking the action steps and feeling like that person is going to take me closer to that goal. Yet, when you're always just projecting a persona that you want to be, you never really get to realize the deeper, not surface level understanding of yourself. And this is where meditation comes in. Meditation is a way for you to kind of disassociate from what is going on. Now, in our very modern world right now, everything's super productive, man. It's like at least me. I mean, I'm living in, you know, LA and Orange County now. And everybody's like such a go-getter about their career. There's so much energy about, like, I went to Colombia a few months ago and people there are kind of just chilling, man. The vibe there is just like, I can feel myself moving 1,000 miles per hour while everybody's kind of just chilling. They're like kind of living their life day to day, while me, I'm like kind of like, I'm visualizing, I'm like trying to see how I can become better at what I do so that I can earn more money, earn more freedom, become more influential, be more lovely for the people around me, be able to help the people around me. And so the paces are different. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with manifestation meditation, but that's what most people think meditation is. And I asked them, like, yeah, bro, have you meditated? Yeah, I love meditating. Yeah, meditation is freaking awesome. Or like Gary Vee is like, I will never meditate. I'm in such a good position in my life. I don't want to meditate, and I think it'll like actually like affect me and stuff. Like, dude, great. You're not gonna be able to meditate. Don't meditate. It's not for you. You know, it's gonna be for the people that actually have a calling for it, and they have the fucking patience. They literally, dude, it's patience, because at this point, our RAS, our selective focus reticular activation system, is so compartmentalized. We're only thinking in dopamine hits most of the day, at least most people are. So like, how are you gonna sit down and just meditate and just sit down with your thoughts for like 20 to 30 minutes? Dude, that's like being in jail for most people. That's why most people can't do it. So fuck meditation, fuck what you've been doing before actually just sitting down with yourself and assessing your thoughts, becoming aware of what is actually arising into your consciousness, because it's not something that you're trying to generate. It's not a state that you're trying to get into. It's not anything like that. It's pretty much more like the concept of effortlessness. The concept of Wu Wei is effortlessness in your actions, effortlessness in your being. That's the whole point of meditation. Most of the time we're doing effort by thinking. If we're thinking day to day, most people cannot stop their thinking ever in years. They never stop their thinking. So like, you never take a step back and start to analyze what you're doing in your life. You never take a step back and start to realize your patterns. Yeah, some people will like go down and like they'll do a little journal and be like, okay, these are the patterns that I'm doing, and this is number 1, this is the habit that I want to take away. Number 2, this is the habit that I want to take away. That's pretty cool, dude. You have a list, you became conscious of the things that you don't want to do. It's better than not doing anything about it. But the fact is that just bringing things to your conscious mind is not going to do it. But the point of why manifestation meditation is fucking you up is because you've never actually taken a step back to see the anatomy of your mind. And the anatomy of the mind is pretty simple. It's just an observer, and then there's the mind itself, right? I don't hear many people speak about the anatomy of the mind like this. This is how they speak about it, at least in Buddhism and in other religions like these. Buddhism, I think, is a great framework to think about. It's like a great introduction to go into deeper psychology. Now, Jung, like if you study Jungian psychology, he goes very deep into a lot of these concepts. So it's an interesting thing to unravel. But for now, the anatomy of the mind is just having an observer and then having the mind. Because the mind itself, it's just thoughts. You're observing the thoughts that are happening. And as the thoughts are happening, it's like, you know, oh yeah, I'm going to the gym. Oh yeah, I'm closing this deal. Oh yeah, I'm like getting this client. I'm doing this. These thoughts and how you as an observer look at these thoughts and the actions that you're taking in the world, you as an observer starts creating a persona that is a layer above your thoughts. For example, it actually encompasses your thoughts. So your observer pretty much creates a persona, an ego. They call it an ego. This is how most people talk about the ego. And ego has been such a freaking famous word just recently, bro. Like Ryan Holiday, the ego is the enemy. All of these guys, I don't have an ego, he has an ego. Like, bro, that's not the right concept of ego. It's not that you believe so highly of yourself. That's not ego. That's not ego. Ego is the character that you follow, the persona that you follow on your day-to-day. Understanding that you create a persona out of how you perceive yourself, out of how other people perceive yourself, and all your thoughts get filtrated through that persona. Now, meditation and manifestation are, I think manifestation is more of a byproduct, right? I think meditation, what it does, it brings presence in your life, brings consciousness in your life, because it makes you aware of things. And now that you're aware of who you are, you know, how your thoughts are creating that persona, you can realize, hey, do I really want to be this persona? Do I want to be this person in life? Am I really liking the life that I'm building? Or am I just becoming a byproduct of everything, every action that I'm kind of called upon? Am I living and orbiting around other people's worlds, other people's universes? Or am I myself a force of gravitational pull that I can create my own reality, right? But once you go in deeper into meditation, you can start seeing these tendencies inside of people's head. So like you'll start speaking to somebody and somebody's like fucking needing to leave. They're like thinking about the next thing that they can do. Now, you realize that they're not as conscious. So that same thing probably happens when, you know, they're in a beautiful landscape or they're having they're making love with their wives, with their partners. They cannot be completely present. That's it, man. It'll bring a lot of richness to your life, a lot of comprehension, a lot of empathizing in your life. You'll become a better listener. You know, colors will look more bright. You know, breaths will be more full. There's going to be more smiles. There's going to be a little bit less stress. You'll know what type of thoughts to identify with and what thoughts, you know, actually build to the persona that you want to live. Or you'll realize if you're just a victim of trying to manifest a life that you're not really even in accordance with, or you're not even really, you know, congruent with.